Hello Capricorn, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And a Nine of Cups. I always smile when we get the Nine of Cups. I feel like we had the Nine of Cups for you last reading, didn't we? Maybe. It's happiness, it's joy, it's beauty, it's bliss, it's pleasure. It is the dream that keeps on dreaming. It's the happiness that keeps on happening, the life that keeps on living. This is the good. This is all the good in life, right? I think you're somebody who is really, taking charge of their own future. That you know what you want, and you're not compromising. You're not settling for anything less. You know, these are the cups of physical and financial abundance, mental, emotional satisfaction, spiritual and creative fulfillment. And you're not settling for anything less. You're not taking no for an answer here. I think that you're somebody who is intensely ambitious. I feel that you recently kind of had a fresh start in your life, maybe just consciously, with intention. And maybe you changed jobs or something, I don't know. But it was a deliberate kind of thing where you just kind of sat up a little bit more straight and you said, I'm going to do it. I'm done dimming my shine. I'm done turning it down. I'm going to turn it up now. Yeah. And I think you're going after those things that really give you this kind of deep spiritual fulfillment. Right? All these cups, every area of your life. We're trying to create this perfect circle. Shout out to James. A perfect circle of life, not an oblong kind of misshapen thing. We want it to expand infinitely in all directions equally, right? Spiritual and mental, emotional, and physical as well, right? Every plane of existence has its own sort of measure of success for you. Okay? And I think the material part, the financial part, it's just a small part. It's just one cup out of many, right? See, the Nine of Cups is built on threes. It's the Three of Cups, Three of Cups, Three of Cups. What is the Three of Cups? Abundance, joy, celebration, right? On every plane of being. So this is the card of kind of ultimate satisfaction all over your life, not just in one little spot. Yeah. So let's see what we're doing with this energy or where it's going here. The Chariot. Well, the Cancer energy always comes up in your readings. I'm kind of getting tired of talking about it, but there it is again, right? The Cancer energy, which is obviously your opposite sign. And so when we get the Cancer energy in a Capricorn reading, it's kind of both halves of you, conscious and unconscious, right? And so it is really talking about this whole picture, that perfect circle again, both sides of the coin. Right? We're not ignoring any aspect of ourselves. We're not ignoring any aspect of our lives. I feel that lately you've been more intuitive, right? I feel like you're kind of able to feel your way through situations. With this Chariot card, I feel that you're trusting your emotions more than you ever have before. Yeah, Chariot is a beautiful card. I'm using the Millennium Thoth Tarot today, and the Chariot is this. It's kind of this, you found something, right? You found that holy grail that you're safeguarding right there in the middle. You found something in life, and no one's going to take this away from you, right? And so we're kind of safeguarding this new reality, this new consciousness, this new perspective, this new integrated or holistic kind of spiritual energy. Yeah. And you're moving forward with it in a way that is, it's not based on your emotion, it's not based on your logic, right? It's something that it's intuitive, it's instinctual, and you're trusting in that. You're trusting in those kind of higher emotions. Yeah. Guiding you forward. I feel like there's travel with this card too, and I feel like travel is something you either have a trip planned or you're going to be planning a trip very soon, okay? And that's very, very exciting. I don't know which cup it is meant to fill. Probably several, right? Let's see what's underneath everything. The Nine of Pentacles, yes, see, very good. Now we have 9 and 9. The Nine of Pentacles is you know that you have to create the physical environment that is acting as the container, the vessel of all that water. You can't get all this water, we got nothing to put it in, right? So we realize that it's kind of this symbiotic relationship between the cups and the pentacles. Because we feel this inspiration, we feel this happiness, this love, this joy, this sense of purpose, right? And it leads us to keep building the vessels, keep making the physical progress in life to contain more of this water. The bigger we build the cup, the more water can go in that cup. So we start building more and more cups, bigger and bigger cups to fill more and more with the water, right? So it's really this, it's a feedback loop, essentially, right? It's a kind of a closed system that just keeps expanding bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. So the Nine of Pentacles, I feel like, is your realization that you're always looking to make progress. You're always looking to expand your life. If you've got a little business, you're always looking for ways to make it grow, to innovate, to try new things, and even just to gain new experiences in life. Right? And that's, I think, part of that travel thing, too. This is the visible sign of progress. This is kind of realizing that as our life grows and expands, we can see the signs of that. We can literally see the money in the bank. We can literally, see our friends and our family and our loved ones, our pets, our plants, our people, right? Things that we can experience and witness and interact with, using the nerve endings of our physical body, right? It's an earth card. And it's saying that we appreciate those things that we can touch and taste and smell, that we can experience and interact with on this physical plane. Okay? As almost as symbols of the higher planes, as vessels of the spiritual energy. All of the earth element, everything we see and witness, everything that we can experience with our senses is a vessel of spiritual energy. Okay, it is made of spiritual energy, and it houses the spiritual energy in its very matrix. Yeah. And I think this is really the realization for you. So I think everything that you do in life, even those very material things, like just getting the paycheck, right? It's a very spiritual thing for you. Tying your shoes, taking out the garbage, a very spiritual thing for you. I think the Nine of Pentacles is also talking about some sort of renovation in your house. I feel like you're adding on something somewhere, right? Maybe it's the business that you're adding on some sort of product or service, or it's the house you're adding on or renovating something. I feel like there's an improvement here somewhere, right? It could be a physical thing, I guess, in terms of you focusing on health and diet and exercise sort of thing, maybe. Right? But I feel like there's something very specific about that for you. Let's see what is behind everything now. We've got the Eon card. Yeah, see, a big shift. I think it was a fresh start. I think we walked through this doorway. The Eon card is the phoenix kind of rising from the ashes. What were the ashes? That's something that I think you need to appreciate and honor those. Okay? Honor that experience. Because this seems to have set everything in motion, and the Chariot is coming out of that experience. Okay? This was a big wake-up call for you. This was a big revelation. This was a big fiery doorway that you decided to, perhaps roll through on the Chariot there. Okay? I feel like you have a pet that recently passed. And I don't know how that relates to the Eon card. Maybe it's kind of just, it's part of what was on the other side of this doorway. And now we're on this side, right? I feel like there's something about your pet recently. Yeah. The Eon card is never an easy card. It's a doorway of fire, right? So when we're confronted with an opportunity to make this choice, make this decision, to change our lives, it's never an easy thing. It's usually quite difficult to change our lives, or even to change our perspective, our way of thinking, our way of seeing the world, right? It's very difficult for that phoenix to rise from the ashes. Sometimes we want to just be in the ashes, and stay there and wallow there, and that's that, right? But to get up, to stand up from that, and to make your life even better than before, to have that kind of confidence, I think it's really something. Yeah. Let's see what's up above everything. What is our soul energy? The Ace of Pentacles. I think that you really do recognize the divine in all things. I think that you see the spiritual energy in every plant, in every animal, in every person, in every object, especially natural objects. I feel like parks and natural settings are very important to you, and I feel that that's kind of almost your happy place, is to be out in nature, right? Because I feel that there's a really strong spiritual connection when you're out in nature, even if it's just a park, or you're by a stream or a river, or by a tree or anything. I feel like that is very powerful for you. Okay, and I feel that's kind of a place where you like to go. Maybe you do some meditation, some prayers, some rituals, some exercises, maybe some qigong or tai chi out in the parks or in the wilderness, or yoga or something like this, right? I feel like that's a really strong place for you. Let's see what the future position is. Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, a lot of earth energy now, see? This is something that I feel like it's really a life-changing process. I feel like the Ace of Pentacles is part of this new road that you're on. So I feel like there was, at the beginning I said that there's some sort of a change in you, like there's a fresh start in your consciousness. Maybe it's even a fresh start in your physical life as well. Maybe this is that that journey, that travel that's coming up for you, or that you're planning for perhaps already. Maybe this is really, you're setting off on a new adventure in the physical world. Maybe you are changing jobs, maybe you're changing homes, maybe you're going on a big trip or a road trip perhaps. I almost feel, Capricorn, that you're finally doing that thing that you've always wanted to do, but there was never enough time, there was never enough money, there was more important things to do. I kind of feel like you're just like, nope, that's it, I'm going. Always wanted to see, Europe or something, right? That I'm going. I'm not really feeling Europe though. I kind of feel more of an Asian vibe as far as the travel goes. So I don't know if you're planning something over there or not, or maybe you just have a connection with Eastern philosophies, or Jing or something like that, right? I feel as if you are. I feel like there's something there for you, and I don't know if you know somebody, you met somebody recently, or if you're planning a trip to that side of the world. I'm feeling that connection. But the Queen of Pentacles is it's a card that appreciates the past. It's the card that uses the past, can see the experience of the past in order to move into the future. So as this, of course, this is sort of in the future position. It represents your future self, right? And we see the ram here. We can maybe just kind of sort of squint our eyes and say that's a goat, right? Which with your Capricorn energy, that would be quite appropriate. But this is the goal that we are looking. This is what we are trying to manifest. This is what we see in our future, and this is what it looks like we're headed toward. And I feel like this is really you being, being the master of your domain in a way, right? Being the very best version of yourself, relying on yourself, being independent, self-reliant, self-empowered, owning your stuff, right? Owning your life, being responsible for what you have and what you're building, taking all the credit for what you are doing, right? And so it makes me feel like that Eon card, what we have shut the door on, because this is really saying, I'm done with this. I'm going forward to this. Maybe this was, in the past, this was some sort of an experience of codependence. Or maybe that was a situation, a relationship, family thing, friends, a workplace thing, where you were kind of under the authority of somebody else. Somebody else was calling the shots. Somebody else was taking the credit. Somebody else was directing your life in a way that you didn't really want anymore. Yeah. And so now your future ambition, what you see and what you are trying to create, what you see for yourself, is yourself being strong and independent and ferocious and owning your life, owning your choices, and not letting anybody take that away from you. Yeah, very, very strong earth energy today. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And Jimbo, the Lizard King, aka Mr. Lizard, will go right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us our confirmation. If you have a prediction, drop it in the comments. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost anything. And it really does support the channel. This channel is supported by viewers like you, and I really appreciate that. So, general energy, Hierophant. Boss energy, right? The Queen of Pentacles, part of the suggestion here is you want to be somebody who can learn from the past, okay? If we do not learn from the past, we are doomed to repeat it. And then we kind of invoke the shadow side of the Hierophant. The shadow side of the Hierophant is the gatekeeper, right? Is the one that has all of the wisdom and the knowledge and is just kind of just giving you a little crumbs of it. And we don't want that. We don't want to become that. And we don't want to get into that situation again where somebody else is just giving us little bits and pieces of what we desire of life. It's just kind of, instead of getting this full 9 of cups, we're just getting a couple drops of water. No. No. So your aspiration, what you're trying to manifest now, is a real wisdom from the past, a real distillation of your experiences of the past to use in the future so that you are not doomed to repeat it, right? And that's what we see here. That's what your future self is. A very wise person who is ruling over their domain and is able to make the right decisions, is able to see things for what they are. Very much in control of the situation. And then the Hierophant really becomes a source of wisdom and knowledge and spiritual experience. And, and I kind of feel as if, let's say this is a workplace thing, right? And you were under the thumb of some kind of petty tyrant of a manager or a boss, Well, what you're doing now is you're becoming the boss. Maybe not in the same place, maybe in a different place, your own, whatever. You're becoming basically that same person, but doing so in a way that is enlightened, doing so in a way that has not forgotten that past energy. So you're able to move forward in a way that is sort of benevolent, right? Magnanimous, and a source of wisdom and holiness for others, right? So the Hierophant is that boss that can be a source of real wisdom, a real teacher, a real instructor. And maybe there's our next card. Maybe there is some connection with teaching or counseling or something like that for you. Because I feel like you do really have like this kind of aspiration to be a guide, even if it's maybe a spiritual guide, right? But I feel as if you have such a colorful life experience other people can benefit from, right? But we don't want to repeat the shadow side of the Hierophant and just feel as if I hold all the keys to the kingdom and I'm not sharing them with anybody because that makes me feel special, which is what I think you got away from. Somebody like that. So we don't want to become that, right? But I feel as if you have something very, very valuable to offer the world. Okay? In the form of really like just sharing your experience. You know? Helping others to navigate their lives just using what you've already been through in yours. Okay? So consider that. Doesn't mean you got to go out and be a teacher or a counselor or anything like that, but something along those lines, right, will be a very good use of your energy. I'm seeing a lot of ants in your house. Where are the ants coming from? I guess it's that time of year maybe where the ants start coming out, but I don't know, your kitchen floor or something, there's a lot of ants around. Yeah. Let's look at the next card. This is the card of your relationships, the card of your environment, Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords now, it's again, light and shadow. Every card has light and shadow. The Nine of Swords, honestly, is mostly shadow. I'll be honest with you. It's really hard to get a good impression from this card. Okay? It's Mars in Gemini. It's very cruel speech. It's very blunt, very to the point. It really kind of rips people a new one. You know what I mean? It doesn't pussyfoot around the issue. It doesn't walk on eggshells in relationships. This is the card of really, in a way, kind of being mean, right? But it's in the position of your relationships with the outside world, your relationship with the environment, okay? And what this kind of is, in some ways, is a projection. See, I think you have the tendency to see the negative thing. Now, we've got the 9 and the 9. Of course, we've got another 9, right? A 9 of Swords. There's a tendency in you to kind of project this life experience that we had in the past, because I feel like the 9 of Swords really started over here, beyond this doorway. This is what we got away from. You got out of that kind of a situation where there was a workplace thing, friends, family, relationship of romance, whatever. I feel like you got away from that, right? But if the Queen of Pentacles isn't doing their job quite accurately, you're going to start to see that same 9 of Swords everywhere you look. And we want to learn from the past so we don't repeat this. And we start assuming that every person we talk to is out to get us, right? Is the same kind of petty tyrant that we had back here, the same kind of, rather unkind type of energy, right? So we don't want to act this way toward people, and we don't want to assume that everybody has this kind of agenda toward us. Okay, and that's very, very important, because this position can be a projection. Okay, I just want to restate that. But I also feel that there is some light in this card, because this is truth. This might be very harsh truth, very blunt truth. This is kind of like telling it like it is, using the harshest words possible. And this is a card that comes up quite often in the readings lately, I think, anyway, on this channel. And it's a special card for me, I think, because this has always been a channel of honesty. I've always tried to be very honest with what I'm feeling, with what I'm seeing, with what I'm hearing, and the impression that I get from these cards and from the energy, right? I try to always be honest with you. But I do also, at the same time, try to be sensitive and a little bit delicate. The choice of words is very important in life. We can say the same thing. If I want to tell you that, hey, your spouse is, even now, is no good, right? We got to choose our word. You're trying to tell your friend that their person's cheating on them or whatever, right? you got to be careful with how you phrase it, how you word it, right? Otherwise, you seem like you are the offender, right? So we have to choose our words and be very delicate. But of course, we also want to be honest. So we have to kind of toe that line between sugarcoating stuff, which maybe then obscures the meaning, or being so intensely blunt, using the harshest words possible. Yeah, the meaning will get through, but so will a lot of kind of unnecessary cruelty. Yeah. So let's be careful with the words we use when we are speaking our truth. Because I think you're somebody who, again, you're not going to let anybody take this life path, this situation, this energy away from you. And I think that kind of requires you to be very honest and very forthcoming and very, very blunt with your communication. But let's just try to keep it nice. All right. The obstacle here, Princess of Swords. I think we're still learning. I think that you're still learning where that line is in terms of communication. The princesses or the pages of the tarot are all about learning how to communicate, learning how to select the right words. You ever been in that situation where, I don't know, you meet somebody or you're at a meeting or whatever, and somebody asks you a question, or it's your turn to give your opinion or something, and you kind of know, you feel the truth, you feel what you believe, but then when you say it, you kind of start to sound like an asshole, right? And you don't really know why, and it's kind of like, I realize that sounded pretty offensive, I'm sorry, like that's not what I meant. And that's kind of, we're learning how to express ourselves in a way that is honest and truthful and pure, but also kind of projects the right image, sort of, projects the right feeling tone. Okay, and I tell you, I used to get myself in trouble all the time at like business meetings and stuff, especially in my 20s, where I had intentions, good intentions, and but the way I would say things sometimes, it would come out just a little bit wrong, where it's like a little bit offensive, or it's like a little bit of I'm kind of being an a-hole, So I feel like this is something very important for all of us to keep in mind. And I feel like this card is here for you because sometimes this might be an obstacle for you. Especially with all of this really good earth energy, all of this amazing stuff in this future and this path that you're on. We've got to be careful how we interact with people, and we've just got to be aware of the words. And I feel with this Cancer energy too, that you're trying to really, like I said before, you're trusting in your higher emotions. You're trusting in this intuition, this instinct, right? Well, that's something that is difficult to put into words, but sometimes we're going to be asked to. And we might end up saying the wrong thing sometimes, and that's okay. We're still learning, right? We're still learning how to translate this intuitive, instinctual, higher emotion-led experience of life into something that we can talk about, or even when we encounter obstacles, how we deal with them, right? Communication, very important. Now, what's the result of some of this? The Eight of Swords. I feel that this is my fault. I feel that we started off on this air energy, and now we've just got air, air, air. And it's, in some ways, it kind of is, it's kind of slowing us down a little bit, right? And I think it takes away from that instinctual, intuitive, emotion-led chariot energy that now we're overthinking it. I apologize for that. Let's not overthink it. You have this great momentum, this great trajectory. We'll just be careful with how we communicate, but let's not overthink it. You still are trusting your emotions, your higher emotions. You have that intuitive, instinctual direction, right? We don't want to invoke our mind too much where we start really questioning things or thinking things through too much, right? Where we're sitting there kind of really just too aware of ourselves, too present in our own bodies, where it's that whole thing, okay, well, where do I put my hands? You know, am I standing weird? You know, that sort of thing. We don't want to overthink it and miss the moment, right? And, you know, we've all been there. I've been in situations where you're kind of on the spot and you're in a conversation, like, let's say, with the owner of the company, right? And the whole time that you're having this conversation, just wondering, you know, am I saying the wrong thing? What's my body language saying? And, you know, and we're so concerned with that we're kind of missing the interaction, we're missing the moment. Yeah. And we probably don't even remember what they said at the end. But anyway, the Eight of Swords is kind of like that, where we're so wrapped up in the thoughts that we're missing the moment, and we're not letting that chariot continue driving forward. Okay, so I think that and we're going to do let's do a language of flowers for some of this air energy. We just need a little affirmation card. Oh, and there's one that volunteered. It is the clarity. Bright paths of understanding will open. Another reminder, not to overthink. We cannot force the understanding. We have to be led by our heart, by our spiritual energy, our intuition, and the understanding will come. We don't gain understanding by simply thinking about something on and on and on, again, over and over and over. That does not bring clarity or understanding. That brings confusion. That brings analysis paralysis, right? So let's remember that. Understanding or wisdom and understanding don't come from overthinking. They are not born out of an overactive intellect, right? So let's keep that in mind. I think that's important for us. I want to look at the mystery card now before I get us into even more trouble. I feel like someone in your life didn't speak for a long time. Is that you or somebody close to you that I don't know if there was a delayed speech or if they took a vow of silence or if they just went through a period of time where you just kind of told your parents, I'm not talking for the next month, right? I feel like there's a long period of silence somewhere I think it's you or it's you're a sibling or something, right? Anyway, mystery card. I want more water energy, obviously. We need more. Right? We started off with this water energy, and then we got all this earth energy. It was great, and we kind of moved into that air energy, which I think is probably a significant part of your work right now, is the communication both with ourselves and with the world around us, especially when it feels like we're in this kind of new energy, we're on this new path. We've got to really focus on how we are interfacing with the world. So maybe as the interface, this should be the magician. Let's take a look. It's another Eight of Swords. I really got us into a bind, literally, didn't I? And I didn't mean to, you know? I feel like I kind of planted that seed of, oh gosh, is there a problem with how I'm communicating? It's like, oh no, am I saying that, you know, am I communicating in a rather maybe ineffective way or counterproductive way? And I didn't mean to light that fire in you. So we might have to do a couple extra cards here today. I know this is already a very long reading. Let's move this card out of the way. Another Eight of Swords is the confirmation card. What else can we get? We got the Hermit. Well, we don't want that because it's sort of a withdraw from the world. It's kind of like this is somebody now who's walking away in embarrassment because they just put their foot in their mouth, right? We don't want that. We want the Prince of Pentacles, yes. We want to continue with this external push of manifestation, of creation. We don't want to give up. We get on this new path. We keep going. This is some very strong Taurus energy, as is the Hierophant. So a Taurus might be a very important person in your life, okay? And I feel like they, if there is a Taurus, I feel like they worked in a clothing store, right? Or I don't know, maybe you worked in the clothing store. We want to keep going with this. We want to push forward. And as we go, of course, the princess is going to learn the effective ways of communication. Communication both with yourself and with others, right? How we communicate and interact with the environment, right? Anyway, a heck of a reading. 8 of Swords. Let's just be careful that we don't allow this communication subject, I don't even want to call it an issue, this subject to slow us down. Okay? It's something, the understanding will come over time. We don't overthink any of this energy right now. Okay? Continue trusting in that Chariot energy, trusting in your intuition, your higher feelings, and be led by that. All right? Don't overthink your feelings. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading, or at least we'll try. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Capricorn every Thursday and Sunday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, and it doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.